It's working now. Daddy, I've got it working.
Have you?
Yeah. So today is the 21st of October 2017. It's Sunday the Sabbath at 1:02. We tried to take a video of Dad telling his story, but the camera and the computer crashed. I don't think the bad man wants Dad to tell his story of Jesus, so we're going to try again on my little machine. This is my father, Frank Hocking, Francis Watson Hocking. He is now 91 years old and wants to tell his experience. And this experience happened in the late 1970s. So, Dad, would you please tell us what happened to you and Mum?
Well, Rob, as you know, Mum and I went for a holiday around the country. And we did go up to, what was it? We went through the west, and we finished up at Darwin, up through Broome, up through that way, and then we decided which way will we go home, because we'd been on the run for about 5 or 6 weeks, I think it was, and we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of the country, so we decided to, instead of coming back the way we went up, we decided to come back down from Darwin, down through the middle of Australia, and we got so far down, and there was we got down to the desert part, and we thought, well, there was one part on the map where it said, if I go down to the point and come back up to the part that we want to get to across the desert, instead of going across the desert, we could go right down around, but that was going to cost us 400 miles. 200 down, 200 back on the other side of the desert.
Yep.
And well, anyhow, when we got to the desert, we got into the desert, and
You decided to go off-road, did you?
yeah, we decided to go off the road and be clear of all cars and things like that, trucks.
You thought you'd make a quick shortcut through a desert.
That's right, we did, which only looked about a mile across.
Yeah, but you didn't have the map.
No, and so anyhow, we got to this part of the desert, and in fact we got too far into the desert that we couldn't turn back, because I think we were very short of petrol.
Right.
So as while we were sitting there, looked at the map, everything's dead quiet, very quiet, and I'm looking down at the map she's got on her legs, and I'm looking down at the map and Mum looked past me out of my window, and she says, "Oh, there's a car there." Just like that, there's a car there. Oh, I might get some help off this. Might have petrol. So anyhow, this person got out of the car and walked across to us, and just before he got right to us, he says, "You seem to be lost." And I said, "Yes, I seem to be lost." I said, and all the Aussie adjectives, we call it.
The little curse words.
Curse words coming out and he just smiled, and he said, "If I can put you on a road more used, do you think you'll be able to find your way home? I said, mate, you get me on a road more used, and I said, I'll find my way home. And anyhow, he pulled a card out of his waistcoat pocket. He had a waistcoat on, that I know, and he pulled the card out of there, and he handed it to me, and he says, well, follow what's on the card there from here. And so I took the card off him, and I handed it across to Jean, and I said, Jean, you look after that, because I can't drive and look at that at the same time. And I thanked him very much for it. And he says, oh, well, he says, I think you'll do all right. He says, I think you'll be right. And but anyhow, I looked back to the map, and I thought he was just toddling along, just walking back to his car. And I just had a glance at the map, and Mum said, they've gone. What? I said, what? And I looked out at the car again. There's no car there. There's nothing there. He's not there. Gone. And I said the car was a car, beautiful and black, shiny car, beautiful as though it just had come out of the manufacturer. You know,
the showroom.
The showroom. And it came out of the showroom. And I said there wasn't even dust on the wheels, and all the dust there is red. Well, our car's a green car, and it finished up with travelling the bit that we did to get to where we are now. The dust is all over. So the car is red.
I remember the photo of the car. It looked like it was a burnt orange car.
Yeah, and when I looked at his car, it's beautiful and shiny. There's not a bit of dust on it. So anyhow, he.
Well, then you got out the car to look for him, didn't you?
Yes. I got out of the car and to see which way he'd gone, because I was thinking about following him. If he's going to go somewhere, it'll be right. So I think I'll follow him, and without the card. And anyhow, I got out of the car. I walked to the next door next to me, the front door, looking over the top of the car to see if I could find out which way he went. But there's no dust flying in the air, which I left behind every time I took a run. There was no dust in the air, and no car.
Were there any tyre tracks there?
There was no tyre tracks. That's what I went there first to see where he was standing, and there's no track marks, no wheel marks. And anyhow, when he was walking away for us, at first, Jean said to me, she says, that's Jesus. And I think that was it there, just then. But anyhow, I remember her saying, that's Jesus. And she said it 3 times to me. That's Jesus, Frank. She says, that's Jesus. Just like that. And I saw him walk, he'd started his walk, but I turned away, and that's when everything vanished. One go. Car, him, and everything went.
Can I just ask you, before they arrived, what did Mum used to say to you when you got upset?
Put your trust in the Lord,
Yeah.
she used to say to me. And because I never believed in these. I wasn't the person that was thinking about God or anything like that.
No.
But
Well, you had been through the World War II
yes,
and seen terrible things.
that's right. And but anyhow, I just said that to Mum. I said, well, we'll have to have a look at that card and see if where he can get us on this road. So, because he said, if I can get you onto a road more used, this card will get me there, see. So anyhow, when he'd gone, we sat there for a couple of minutes, and we checked the card out. And I said, well, look, you better keep the card and tell me which way to go, where I've got to look for. And then she got me going. I got me going, and as I'm going along, she's telling me there's a pile of rocks. We've got to go keep to the left of it. Keep to the left of the pile of rocks there. And when
did you start to have a feeling?
Huh?
Did you start to have a feeling about them? Did you feel something in your feet?
Oh, that's right. Yes, but this is the first time this happened.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm going along in the car, I got to the stage where I was nearly stopping, and I was that slow. And I said to Mum, Jean, that I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I said, I can feel this funny feeling coming through me toes, and it's going down through me feet, and it's coming up to me ankles now. Now I said, it's like being in, me legs is going in some warm water. And I said, you know, warm water? It's red hot outside, 50 degrees. And the temperature was hotter outside, and the warm water was nice. And I said it was coming up to me ankles, and I said the next thing you know, it's up to me knee. It's come up past me calves and my legs, and it's up to me knee, and so I said, oh, I'm getting lowered down in some more water. And I could feel it going up my chest. Oh, I said, love, I said, I don't know what's happening here. And she's sitting there just staring at me. And I said, it's up to me neck now. Oh, dear, I'm going to drown. and it come up through my nose, up and through my eyes. And I said, it's up in my head now. And then it went pop. Gone. Well, I said I was back to normal again. So I was crying. I couldn't stop crying. So when I settled down, I said, well, we better get going again then. So she said, right, I will. And I got the car going again, like, and I hadn't gone 10 or 12 feet, I think, about the length of the car. And I said, oh, that's starting again, love. It's coming up my toes again. And it's down to me foot, the heel, and it's coming up through me ankles. I'm not telling her where it was coming from. Coming up, and it comes up to me belly, and up through me chest. And I said, it's coming up through me nose, up through my eyes, and then it's just pop like that. Jeez. And I said that was the second time, but I said I was that upset I couldn't stop crying. I could not stop crying. So I said, well, there's only one way to get. I said, we've got to get to that. What do you call it? That embankment, and I said, well, I better get going again. And I said, oh gee, I said, that's funny enough. She says, it's not funny at all. And anyhow, I got the car going again, and she was telling me like, well, there's nothing to see where I can tell you to go. And that's when we saw the embankment.
You'd come to the end of the map.
Eh?
You'd come to the end of the map the man drew.
Yes, and that was that straight line was embankment with a straight line across, like when you're looking across like that, and you see this line going across like that.
A bit like a dike. A bit like a dike, but in a desert.
Yeah, but anyhow, I went again, and this is the third time now. It got to my toes again, and it's coming up again. I said, starting again, I can't stop it. And anyhow, it's coming up. Comes up for the third time. Gone. I just sat there and cried. I couldn't stop crying. So anyhow, when we quietened down a little bit, I said, you stop here, love. I was only about 100 yards, if that, off the embankment. Might have been 50 yards, I think. And I said, look, love, you get out, and I'm going to try and get this car up on that, because I went and had a look first and told her the width of what the road is. And I said, our car wheels are probably exactly the size of the width of that road.
And you had to try and get up on it at speed and stop on the top
and
without going over. Wow.
And I said, well, you stop here, love, until I get the car onto the top there. And I think it was about the height of that bottom of the rail there.
Right,
there.
That's about 4.5 foot high.
Is it? Well, that was it. That was the height. And I said, you keep out the road, love, and I'll try and get the car up onto that level. So I took the car over nice and steady, and then when I saw a part where I thought I'd just do right, I'll go straight up on this one. And so I just took a I went, and it seemed as though I'd stopped in mid-air, because I think the way I was going, I should have went over the other side.
It just stopped like a miracle.
But it just stopped in mid-air like that, and I said it lowered down, bonk, just like that. And Mum, she came over like, and she says, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. But I said, how the heck are we going to turn this car whichever way we want to go? I said, which way do we go? No, that was after I got in the car. After she got in. But anyhow, I said, well, you stop outside, and are we going down the left or the right? She says, left. Follow that star. That's the way she said it.
Yeah.
Follow that star, because it was further down. And anyhow, she kept out the road like until I said, well, can you keep an eye on the wheels for me? Because I'm only going to go backwards and forwards a little bit at a time, then forward, a little bit of time, then forward, a little bit of time forward. And it took us over an hour to get that car so I could drive straight. And but we managed it. And we got it turned down the hill, the hill to the left. And I said, come on, I said, you better get in the car now, love, because it's starting to get dark. It was evening. It's still light, you get that evening light.
Twilight.
Yeah, and this star, with the moon shining, this star was brighter than the moon. It was like a big light, you know, looking right at us. And I said to Mum, I said, well, which way, will I keep going down this road then? And she said, well, this is the way it should go. And yeah, we started going down nice and steady, probably about 10 miles an hour. And I looked out to the right, and I said to her, I said, there's a road there, love, you know. It's not a tar road, it's only just ordinary bush road. And I said, what do you think, I should turn in there? And she said, yes, turn in the right, that's where we've got to go. And we got, as I'm going along the road, that, what do you call it, road? The dirt road, I saw a petrol tank, a petrol bowser on the side of the road, and there was an old fella there. And I said, when I got alongside of him, where the pump is, I said, there's an old fella there with his hand, he's leaning on the pump, where the trigger is for the pump things. He's got his elbow on that, and I'm up here looking down at him, and he looks up at me and he says, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. You've been waiting for me? Yes, he says, I've been waiting for you.
There were no mobile phones back then.
No. And, but anyhow, he said, well, look, he says, you'll need somewhere to sleep. I thought, well, how the hell does he know that?
Mm.
And you'll need somewhere to sleep. He says, I've got a nice room here for you. And next to ours here. I said, the wife, she's got this as for when people come past, they can have something to eat, see? Like a little shop. And he says, well, I'll get you a tea or a coffee, whatever you want, and you can have a couple before you go to bed, you know. So he says, when you get up in the morning, he says, you'll have breakfast with us. But she never come to the breakfast table because she was cooking. Mm. He was there, eating it. And I can't even think what it was we ate. I don't know what we were eating. Might have been a bit of toast and something else, I'm not aware, but I can't even think of it, what it was. But anyhow, it's, well, at that night, Mum had the card.
Did it have anything on the back of the card?
I think it had put your trust in the Lord.
Right.
I think that's what it had on it.
And that's what Mum had been saying to you all along.
Put your trust in the Lord. She always said that to me.
Yeah, and it was on the back of the card.
It was on the back of the card. Because Mum was, oh! You know?
Yeah, yeah.
I said this before.
Yeah.
And anyhow, she put the card, she says, I don't want to leave it in the room because I might forget to pick it up with all the other things. So I said, well, why not put it in the car now then? And, oh, that's a good idea. Right, she brings the card out. I opened up the thing, which was about that size. Mm. And it's all steel down right round the back.
Yeah.
It was a box.
The glove box, they call it.
Yeah, the glove box. But anyhow, she put her hand in to get the thing. It's not there. It's gone.
So it vanished overnight.
She says, I didn't take it back in the room, did I? So I said, well, I'll go in and I'll have a look. And I went in the room and I searched everywhere. Underneath the teacup, saucer and things like that. Everywhere I could think of. I said, no, love, it's not in the room. Oh, she says, oh no. You know.
It vanished like the car.
I wanted to show the kids this. So, anyhow, I can't even remember getting petrol.
And yet you were able to drive off and drive a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got petrol. You had very high octane fuel.
Yeah. But,
And then you headed off.
yeah.
And you ended up in another town? Or in a town?
No, we went into a town where we'd been before. Another time we went for a run. And it was where it was on the radio of what they've got, you know, and a great place to be. That put it this way, what the heck is the name?
Was it Borough?
Borough, I think that was it.
That's a name that's familiar to me.
Borough.
Yeah, that's a name that's familiar to me from your
That's
telling.
it. That was it. Borough. And that's where this certain shop had these great English pastries, you know.
Cornish pasties.
Cornish pasties, that's what they're after. And everybody who went there thought they were beautiful. But when we got there, they were out of them. It took all that way to get nothing. That's what it did.
And
So-
did you tell them where you'd been that night?
No. Oh, wait a bit, yes I did. He said something about well, we got our petrol or something. I said just down the road there, and I said we slept there for the night. It's a little motel, and well, the woman that was there, she says, "What did you say?" We slept just down the road there a bit, and in this little, it's only like a 2-bedroom motel. And she says, "We've been here for years," but she says, there's no petrol station down there, and there's no building down there." I said, "What?" She says, "That's right." She said, "There's nothing down there. You must have been dreaming." I said, "Oh well, that's what we thought."
Well,
Well,
that's what happened.
Eh?
That's what happened. The car vanished, the card vanished, and the building vanished.
Yeah,
Because they were only there for you and Mum, not
That's
for
right.
anybody else.
it was there for me and Mum. That's right, and so we got on our way. I think that was about it.
And you came home.
We got home, and got home. Oh, and you had the shop.
Later on I had a shop, yes.
Yeah.
Not immediately then.
No.
And you started to tell the people
Oh,
what had happened.
Yeah, and you knew a nun that was down in West Wallsend,
Yes.
and I told her what had happened with us, and she was out overjoyed. She was overjoyed of what I was telling her, and she knew an American priest who was gathering up all these sort of talks, and he puts them on the TV. And I said, she phoned him up to come out and listen to me. And I said, well, he did come out all the way from America to see me. And as he come in the house, and he had like a recorder. That'll be sitting in one.
It was a
chair,
big 2-reel box, wasn't it?
Eh?
A big box with 2 reels going
I
on
think
it.
so. I'm not sure, but he was taking every word I said, the way I said it.
Yes.
And he thanked me very much. And when he went out, he said, "God bless you." And I said, "And you too." And
you went on to tell many people your
yes,
experience, didn't you?
Yes, and as we went on, Robin had a shop where you could have a scone, jam and cream and stuff like that. And I used to get people coming in the shop, and then there was these people that had, what did they call them again?
Probus.
Probus.
They came as a group.
Yeah, well, they come in as a group, a big group, and sat down at all the chairs, and they wanted to hear my story of what I've been saying. And but there wasn't just them people. There was other people that would come in, 5 or 6 of them at a time.
And ask for the story.
He asked for the story. So anyhow, as time went on, Jean she was an artist, and she was teaching art at home, at her home. So I was in the house at this time when there was about...
there were about 20 ladies came.
About 20 ladies come, not to learn art, just to hear what I say, what I've been saying. And well, I had them crying, because I cried every time I told somebody about what had happened to me. I cried just the same, and I can't stop crying. Even now I'm 91, I'm still crying. So I think that's about it.
Yes. And what did the young women say when you told them about the feeling of going into the water? They told you something.
Yeah, one young woman got up of 4 or 5 of them together, and she said, "Oh," she says, "you've been
baptized.
You've been baptized in the face of the Lord."
In the Spirit of the Lord.
Spirit of the Lord,
yes. Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I've never known that before, but I think that's what it would be." Mm. And everywhere I went, people was asking me, like, "Are you all right?" Mm. I said, "Oh, yes, I'm all right."
You did well, Dad.
Mm.
Well, Dad, thank you for telling your experience. I will try my best to type it out, but if not, we can hand this to the young members of the family, can't we?
Oh,
and they can hear you tell your story.
Oh, yeah.
Would that be all right?
Yes.